Hi. So after a long time, I'm making this video. So you know me. I am the author of Thought Process. Unique Thinking is my book. So thought process. I've been hearing this concept from various people. Happy to know that it's getting recognized nowadays with the thought life cycle, with the thought concepts and thought process related concepts. So what is thought process? So many of them asked me like what is this thought process? So what is thought life cycle? Is it the first ever defined? So we have been hearing about thoughts from several years. Then what is the difference between a thought and a thought process? So thought process is something which is defined into different phases. It has got 9 phases of a thought, where the thought traverses from the initial stage of thought occurrence till the final stage of thought lapse. And what are the stages that are defined in the thought process? So you can relate thought process life cycle with something like software development framework. Similarly, like how we have the requirements, design, implementation or coding, testing, maintenance, support, and all these things. Likewise, in thought process also, there are different phases that are defined. It's a thought process framework. It has thought occurrence, thought sustenance, thought realization, thought organization and design, thought execution, thought outcome, thought reoccurrence, thought continuity, and thought lapse. So these 9 phases, every thought traverses through unknowingly, subconsciously, without our knowledge. It happens with every person, but is unique for that person. Not everybody is the same. Everybody has their own unique qualities and their own ways of thinking. What are their likes, what are their dislikes, their opinions, their thoughts, their daily activities. Everything is dependent on the thought life cycle, their own unique thought life cycle, their own unique thought process. So thought process is unique for every individual, but it is a thought process framework. So, how do we, where is the thought process applicable? Only in the professional context? No, thought process is applicable both in the professional context as well as in the personal context, because thought is everywhere with us. We are born with thoughts, we live with thoughts. So, wherever you get a thought, you have a thought, there is a thought process. You cannot get away from thought process. You cannot get away from your mind. When you are sleeping, also your mind works. When you are awake, also your mind works. When you are at home, in office, whatever you do, your mind works. And that is when a thought works. That is when a thought process is built upon. So it is your daily activities. It defines your daily activities. And it's a recurring and a continuous process. It happens within microseconds and milliseconds, but you don't get to know that this complex and sophisticated process is occurring in your mind uncountable times in in everyday life, every single day. We don't get to realize that. That is what we call the mind is the most mysterious and miraculous organ. The brain is the physical organ. Mind is something that we cannot see, but what we live with, it is mind. So again, there is a different concept that comes. What is the difference between mind and brain? Brain is visible, mind is invisible. But we always term this as mind and not brain. So, what is this mind? are we living with the invisible organ within our body, which we call it as mind? But we don't realize that. Many people term mind to be brain. Brain is mind, mind is brain. No, brain is the physical organ which you can see, but mind is the invisible organ that runs us, because of which we are living. It defines our functions, our functionalities, which is invisible. And again, there is a difference between conscious mind and subconscious mind. So I'll talk about it later. It doesn't it's not included in the book Unique Thinking. So unique thinking has everything to do with only thoughts and the thought process. So that is about the book. Many people have been asking me about what made you define this thought process. So how did you know that? How could you think that about the invisibility of mind, the visibility of the mind? It again depends on your experiences in your life. What are the things that you have come across? What are the miracles that you have come across, the mysteries that you have come across that made you come up with the concept? And again, the way you think, the maturity of your mind, what makes you analyze so much when others don't analyze? Why are you analyzing so much? There are so many aspects as to what makes a think beyond what he is expected to think. That is what we term it as out of box thinking, or in box thinking, or innovative thinking, or creative thinking. So I have this analysis of different topics from my childhood. I always used to analyze why like that, why not like this, why this, and why not that, and why is it happening this way, and why is it not happening that way. So what then I started after analyzing, I started thinking, how is my mind working? I have analyzed that. I got a thought, and after that, I have taken this thought forward, and I have not taken that thought forward. That means some thoughts are getting into the stage of thought sustenance. Some thoughts are not sustaining in my mind. So there is a phase where I ignore some of my thoughts, but I take forward some of my thoughts. So that means there is a second stage of thought process. So that is how I have come up with the concept of and definition of thought process and thought life cycle. It is a framework for a thought. So it's the first ever defined thought management concept in the genre of thoughts and mind, and I am happy for that. So I've been posting on the social media the chapters of unique thinking. So people are some of them are able to understand what was written in the book. Some of them are not able to understand what was written in the book. So they are asking me to make an audio book for them to easily understand this concept of a thought, because thought is a very complex and a complicated subject. Usually we know the terms mind, thought, and all, but nobody has got time to analyze so much, or nobody is really interested in analyzing so much what happens in their mind as much as they are interested in analyzing what is happening around them. It's a general human tendency. We all tend to have curiosity towards things that are happening outside, surrounding us, and far away from us, but we are not interested in knowing what is happening within us, within our mind. So I am planning to make an audiobook on thought process and unique thinking. And again, what is this? Another thing that they are asking me is, what is this reincarnation? So reincarnation is something which is termed, for the scientific definition of reincarnation is a person who takes birth again, who's connected with you in the past life takes birth in the present life. So that is what is called reincarnation. The same person is born again, but might be with a different family, with a different characteristics, with a different features, but their mind will have that connect with that person if they have departed in their past life forcibly by anybody due to some accident or due to some unexpected death. The people who love each other, parents, children, it could be any kind of relationship. So that is when the person takes rebirth in the present life, and that is what is called reincarnation. So I'll explain about reincarnation in my next video.